What is good, everybody? Man, it's your boy Jay in the building. We is back again with another video. Make sure you guys, hold on, before we get this video started, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, and share. Hit that bell button right below. Now, let's get into something serious real quick, man. Y'all see the title of this video. Now, earlier on in the week, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, there were about 7 or 8 schools, HBCU schools, that had bomb threats all in the same day. And before we go further, I want to shout out these schools. It was Spelman, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Florida Memorial University, Howard, Norfolk State, North Carolina Central, Fairview, and Xavier University in Louisiana. I wanna pray for those schools. I wanna make sure that everybody at those schools is safe. You know, like teenagers, late teens, early 20s, man. Everybody, like, they're all kids. So I wanna shout out to those who are all safe, even the faculty there. I also don't want to fail to mention about the break-in at Fairview, and then also with the living conditions at Howard University. Still, Howard has been going through these living conditions that they're going through since the beginning of the school year, like last semester, and I'm still having a hard time trying to understand how come damn near the mecca of HBCUs, man, hold up, they are in DC. Where's the help? I don't understand where the lack of resource, I don't understand why nobody has fixed up Howard yet. Why nobody has tried to fix up the living conditions at Howard. I'm having a hard time understanding it. I really don't. They've been going through this damn near the entire school year, and then this bomb threat happens. I'm having a hard time understanding it. You know, and I gotta say prayers to Howard. You know, and for what the students are going through there. And then, you know, at Fairview, what's going on there, for Fairview and Howard to be, you know, for Fairview to not only go through the bomb threats, but then go through the people and then break-ins. You know what I'm saying? It's the lack of respect that HBCUs get that's it's absolutely insane. But let's say this, we all know why this is happening. We know why this is even coming about in the first place. But this wasn't big enough news. I didn't feel like enough people were speaking about it. But this is coming from a place of sports, and where money could be somewhat effective, or they think money is effective. And that's why they're coming at HBCUs specifically. But let's start back from the very beginning of why this is happening now. And this is even before Dion even gets to Jackson State. Rest in peace, George Floyd. You know, he passed May 2020. And this was around the time, in the early stages of COVID, and when everybody was stuck in the house, and everybody was inside. We was all forced to quarantine, and people were losing jobs. People had lost their jobs, so people were struggling to make money. This was at a point where people were struggling to make money, and this is the year that college football was canceled. This season, that was the year college football was canceled, high school football was canceled, where even in the NFL, there was no fans that was allowed at the games. And this is when the NBA had created the bubble. So after that moment when George Floyd passed, it was nothing but riots. It went from everybody being stuck in the house, nobody with nothing to do, to everybody outside. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, him protesting. And, you know, and honestly, I believe George Floyd really made a difference. You know, look, I gotta say again, man, rest in peace, you know, and my condolences to his family, you know, and his daughter, you know, but he was really the person that sparked the change that's going on with HBCUs now, if nobody speaks about it enough. You know, with George Floyd passing May 2020, Dion goes for the job at Jackson State, and he gets introduced September of 2020. And mind you, again, the season was completely canceled for 2020. So he had a chance. So after he got introduced, big media award. And mind you, he was working in the NFL networks, you know, prime time, where he would call the NFL games or whatever. So he, mind you, like, and he was coaching high school football. So there was no college, you know, there was no college teams knocking on his door. There was nobody looking for him. Mind you, he was coaching Trinity Christian in Texas, where Shedeur Sanders was playing quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So there wasn't no college looking at him. So he goes for the job at Jackson State. And 2021 happens, you know, and then there's a whole bunch of transfers that are starting to transfer. You know, you got James Houston from Florida, and you got Antoine Owens from Auburn, and you got Aubrey Miller from Missouri, and you're getting a whole bunch of guys coming, right? All these transfers. And I think the one person, the one name that I honestly kind of stuck out with everybody the most was Nugget, aka Deshaun Warren. And he was, mind you, he was on his way to Georgia. He was the highest, he probably the highest or second highest rated player coming from JUCO. And he was on his way to Georgia. They say he was an automatic starter from jump. And he transferred to Jackson State. And they were getting all, they was getting all the talent. The coaching staff that he has currently, they're all NFL players, all have experience in coaching, and they were creating a coaching dynasty at Jackson State, and they're getting talent, and you know, and they're 3 games in, and now all of a sudden, Coach Dion's name is being brought up at certain schools. You know, probably not at Power 5 schools yet, but at big time FBS schools. Already, his first year there. Like, mind you, like, and it's kind of weird that his name is being brought up at coaching jobs when he just got to Jackson State. Like, he just got there. And mind you, and this was when he was preaching about bringing 4 and 5-star schools to HBCUs. This was at the time where he preached about, you know, the lack of HBCU players that were getting drafted, that had got drafted, in which there were none at all. And this was at a time where he's trying to bring awareness and he's trying to make changes at HBCUs. This was around that time. And then before the season starts, now here comes Eddie George, and he's off to, you know, to Tennessee State. And then here comes Hugh Jackson, who's coaching, who's now the offensive coordinator at Tennessee State. So, getting back to JCSU, now he's 3 games in, and now he's getting coaching offers now. Now people are starting to come to Dion for coaching offers. Mind you, he just got there. You know, so then, mind you, every game ESPN is there. Now he did get off to a fast start, and then they end the year on a 3-game losing streak. I think they lose to Alabama State, It lost to Alabama A&M, and it lost to somebody else. I forget. But that didn't stop him from getting a bunch of transfers. Mind you, a lot of the transfers that he was getting, they didn't play until the fall season, which was, I think, Keith Corbin came along, and Josh Lanier, and Malachi Wideman, and I think James Houston as well. And some of the transfers couldn't play in the spring season, but they played in the fall season. And during the year, they're getting a whole bunch of attention. They beat FAMU. They beat Tennessee State. And they lost to UL Monroe, I think 12-9. But it was a very close game. And I think around that time, he started getting more offers from Power 5 schools. And I think there was an interview that he did, I think on online, whatever. And I think it was the same guy that conducted the interview when he was talking about the HBCUs not getting drafted. So the guy asked him a question and asked him, are you gonna entertain the other offers? Or it was something along those lines. And Coach Prime said, look, I'm not going anywhere. I don't know why y'all think any different. And this was around the time where he spoke about names on the back of the jerseys and the disrespect on the term money games, and how he don't mess with the money games at all. You know what I'm saying? He don't like that. And that's why, and then he's speaking about going after the 5-stars and 4-star recruits and how not to be ashamed to go after those guys. This is around that time, so people are still trying to get him to go to Power 5 schools, even though this was like the fall season was his first real season. Like, this is when he was gonna play 11 games. That spring season, not everybody played, but they were starting to get the talent. Mind you, that spring season, Coach Prime didn't look at it as a season. He looked at it. He was looking at it as who are going to be the guys that I'm going to keep for the fall. Who are going to be the dogs? Who can play? Who can't? You know what I'm saying? And I kind of had a feeling that he wasn't really putting all of his effort into the spring season because he knew what was coming during the fall. So then he goes, then his foot surgery happens, and even after the foot surgery, he goes to the Mississippi Valley State game, and then he goes to the homecoming game again. He goes to the Alabama A&M game, then he goes to the homecoming game, and then that's when he misses. Then around that time, that's when he misses the last four, the 4 games. So then, him not being able to go to the games, him not having the strength to get up, now it comes out that he is interviewing with a TCU job. And it was all kinds of weird that he had already turned down an offer from a Power 5 school. He already told people that he wasn't going nowhere, he wasn't doing it. And then weeks later, we turn around and it comes out that he's interviewing for the TCU job. Then they come out and say that they had a great interview. Everybody thought it was weird. Some people didn't catch on to it. They said, there were some people that was hating us, saying, we already knew that. We already knew that he wasn't only here to help HBCUs. We already knew he was only here for clout. I thought that was weird. But even I said, look, if he goes to TCU, he's already done enough for HBCU. But even in my brain, I thought it was weird. I thought it was kind of crazy for him to say all that he said about names and HBCU not getting drafted and HBCU combine and all this stuff, for him to just leave. Mind you, his son Shiloh was already at South Carolina before he even went and took the JSU job. And Shador had already spoken about going to FIU. Like he was already going there. And then his sons decided to transfer. His sons are not going to transfer, and then he leave his son. That's not going to happen. So I thought that was crazy. So then weeks later, the pregame show came out and denied that the interview never happened, in which we, a lot of us already knew that the interview didn't happen. So fast forward to the SWAC championship and getting 45 plus thousand fans. Mind you, homecoming game had 30,000 plus packed. The SWAC championship game, no, the Alcorn game, senior day, 40,000 plus. SWAC championship, 40,000 plus. And now here comes the Celebration Bowl. And here comes where, matter of fact, no. Before that, the SWAC championship game. And now Travis Hunter is there. And everybody makes a big speculation that, Travis Hunter is at the SWAC championship game. Whoa. It's either the SWAC championship game or Alcorn game. One of those two games. Travis Hunter is at Jackson State visiting. And we all thought, what is he doing there? He committed to Florida State already. He verbally committed to Florida State. What is he doing at Jackson State? I thought that was weird, but it was telling. You know what I'm saying? And so now fast forward to before the week of the Celebration Bowl. So the week of Celebration Bowl is here. Now they're getting 4-star transfers. Now, other schools, Mississippi Valley State, now they're getting recruits. And the stuff they're doing, Alabama A&M, they're now getting 3-star and 4-star recruits. Now FAMU is getting 3-star and 4-star recruits. And then here comes Jackson State. With Travis Hunter, boom, sparks fly. Everybody going crazy. The HBCU world going crazy. JSU fans going crazy. Florida and Florida State fans out there going crazy. In a negative way though. Because now they're calling for the coach for Florida State just re-signed. I think he just signed an extension. And then they're calling for his job the same day that Travis Hunter signs at JSU, which is absolutely insane. So now here comes Hugh Jackson and him getting the coach at Graham, and him becoming the head coach at Grambling State. Now the Celebration Bowl comes in record-breaking numbers. 48,000 people are at the Celebration Bowl. Breaking numbers. More than half of the FCS games. Or FBS games, I'm sorry. Generated record-breaking numbers for a Celebration Bowl. Whole bunch of celebrities there. Jeezy's there. Jamie Foxx, Ha Davis. Everybody's showing their support for Jackson State. So now here comes Hugh Jackson. And now Hugh Jackson is making moves. He's working that California pipeline. He's getting 3-star recruits, 4-star recruits here and there. He's getting JUCO transfers. Everybody in the SWAC getting JUCO transfers. And then we come to the bomb threats. And this is where we end up. Yeah, I'm going to say this. Whatever the SWAC is doing now, and hold on, before I get to that, now the MEAC, now Howard is getting 3-star recruits. Delaware State, South Carolina State, now these guys are getting 3-star recruits. Remind you, the MEAC was barely, the MEAC wasn't even getting talked about until the Celebration Bowl. Now, mind you, I had Norfolk State going to the Celebration Bowl, but South Carolina State closed the door, and they end up winning the Celebration Bowl. Congrats to them again. But let's talk about this for a moment. Now we got that out the way. Here comes the bomb threats. Not only 7 or 8 in one day, but it's 7 or 8 in 7 different states on the same day. Nobody thought that was weird? Now, mind you, I'm still on the side of pray for HBCUs. Let's pray for them, make sure all the kids are safe. But it's weird. It's just insane that all of a sudden 7 calls in 7 different states on the same day. We don't think that's weird? You know what it tells me? Look, you know what it tells me? It tells me that what it's telling me is that PWIs are finally intimidating. We're hitting them where it hurts. Or I want to say hitting them where it hurts, but we're hitting them where they care about the most. You know how like in that Pusha T and Drake diss and we all know Drake is the bigger artist, and he got him out of here with that dumpy freestyle. And then Pusha T came out with his diss and talk about his child, and now his whole energy shift. That's what I feel like happened. The moment Travis Hunter transferred or decided to not go to Florida State and go to JSU, that's where it hurt. Florida State was calling for that man's job the same day that Travis Hunter went to JSU. And mind you, let me say this. There are the SEC, the Pac-12, the ACC, these Power 5 conferences, each of them generate at least over $400 million in their conferences alone. Just those, look, mind you, just those 5 conferences alone generate over 9 figures. 11 figures to be exact. They generate 11 figures with all 5 of them together. And y'all mean to tell me that the 1 year that the HBCU football is finally getting recognized nationally, now y'all threatened? Because mind you, y'all was never threatened when HBCU bands was allowed to play at y'all halftime shows, and they were playing at halftime shows at NFL games and was traveling to play at y'all big time schools, and y'all dancing around jumping for joy when an HBCU band come along. Y'all wasn't scared or nervous when we got a Celebration Bowl, aka an HBCU championship game, and we was only generating $1 million, maybe a little more, maybe less than that. And you can see half a section at that building empty. Y'all ain't scared then. Y'all wasn't even nervous when Coach Prime first stepped on the scene at Jackson State. Y'all didn't think he was gonna do what he was gonna do. Now y'all nervous when Coach Prime is turning down Power 5 offers to stay at Jackson State and build up JSU into a powerhouse that they're about to be. Now they're nervous when now they see Hugh Jackson at Grambling State building a powerhouse that they used to be. When Valley State and Alabama A&M, FAMU all following suit and building powerhouses, the SWAC is about to get more attention than ever before. And the PWI are mad about it. They're upset about it. Y'all are $11 billion, y'all 11 figures up. All of y'all are 11 figures up. Why would y'all be intimidated by HBCU schools? The fact that y'all send bomb threats to 7 or 8 different HBCU schools lets me know that y'all intimidated. And mind you, this ain't nothing new. The intimidating of HBCUs, this ain't nothing new. We know about in the early 1900s, when schools in Tennessee, like the HBCUs back in the day, their buildings got burnt down. Just from riots. They used to riot on HBCU campuses, burn down the administrative building, burn down dorms, and we took our students and rebuilt that same building that was burnt down. A lot of the buildings that was getting burnt down, the students that was going to the school helped rebuild the schools back up. There's some schools that are not even schools anymore because of the hate that we were receiving from just our existence. We know we have the better athletes. We are the better athletes. We are the better entertainers. We have the most talent. We have it all. Why do you think they call HBCU schools to play at their halftime shows and not their bands? Why do you think Coachella called for an HBCU band and not none of the Power 5 schools? Like, why do you think that is, man? Like, the hate that HBCU schools are getting is nothing new. And I'm surprised it's not enough people talking about it. But at the end of the day, I expect for it to happen. Because you know why? Because HBCUs are finally getting the recognition that it deserves. Hell, Deion Sanders generated over $30 million to Jackson, Mississippi. Over $30 million. Why do you don't think it's going to be more now that there's a 5-star recruit? The fact that there's a 5-star recruit, and mind you, there are going to be more 5-star recruits visiting FAMU and JSU. Oh man, this is about to be the greatest. This could be HBCU's final moment. And I said this before. Football is the greatest whatever. Football is the greatest whatever, man. Like, and this is why these Power 5 schools are hating HBCUs. The fact that they have to lie on on Coach Prime that he took the interview when he really didn't, it says something. It says that they wanted the fan base of JSU to turn on him so bad that, like, what? Then it got to a point where they're burning his college jersey that they probably had 15 to 20 years in a glass case, and you break it because Travis Hunter ain't going to your school. The amount of hate that Travis Hunter was getting, not just at Florida State, but at these ESPN networks. They're talking about his draft stock. They're talking about the fact that he may not get as much recognition in the NFL when they're missing the point. They're missing the entire goddamn point. Why are y'all worried about his draft stock? Y'all don't think that if a person is talented enough that the NFL gonna find him? Why do you think Marquise Bell going to the NFL Combine? Why do you think Ja'Cory Carter from Southern is going to the NFL Combine? Not the HBCU Combine where you allow 40 people regardless of position. They're being allowed to participate at the NFL Combine, a 3-day event. It said something. So I don't want to hear that Travis Hunter going to an HBCU is going to hurt his draft stock when Marquise Bell may be drafted in the 4th round? Jacoby Durant is going to get drafted in probably the 4th or 5th round. Ja'Tari Carter is going to get drafted in the 6th or 7th round. When Akil Glass is going to be one of the 10 quarterbacks drafted. Like, you can't make this make sense to me. But it tells me something. It tells me that the amount of attention that HBCUs are getting is intimidating to these big money teams. But you know what? With the amount of money that's coming from their boosters, why do you think Texas A&M has the #1 recruiting class? Why do you think the transfer portal is thicker than it's ever been? Hell, why do you think Caleb Williams transferring out of Oklahoma? It ain't to be with his coach. It is not to be with his former coach. But come on, man. But look, all I'm saying is, man, look, HBCUs are finally getting the attention that it deserves, that it recognizes, and that people are finally coming to grips. People are finally making aware of it. HBCUs is doing something right. We doing something right. Look, we existed for over 100 years. They burnt down our buildings before. They burnt down, matter of fact, I forget, it was a school in Tennessee, school in Georgia. They got their building, one of their schools got their buildings burned twice. 2 times. And didn't quit. Our ancestors didn't quit. The students that went to that school, it didn't deteriorate them from transferring to another school because the buildings got burnt down. We fought to keep our HBCUs. That's why HBCUs is so important. The NCAA can give 2 shits about us. They can give 2 shits about us. So yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. HBCUs is where it's at, man. I ain't gotta really say too much about that. HBCUs is where it's at. And look, I'm gonna say this: the more talent that we generate, the more they're gonna hate. But it's crazy because look, Power 5 generate, each conference alone generates at least over $400 million in their conferences. But we all know why Texas A&M got the highest rated recruiting class. Texas A&M got 9 5-stars, 16 4-stars. Over Alabama? Come on, man. We know. But look, that's it, man. Look, that's my serious take. Make sure you guys, look, once again, man, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. Like, look, HBCUs is back. HBCUs is here. We ain't going nowhere, man. It's what it is.